Hi everyone, um, this is Christelle from Tricot Stitch. I hope everyone is doing well. Um, I've been wanting to talk to you for quite a while, and now I think that everyone is in lockdown. It's a good time. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that it's not too difficult to stay at home. In France, we've been locked down for a few days now, but we've been instructed to stay at home, really a maximum at home for more than a week now, and schools have been closed for over a week, for just a week. So I thought I'd share with you how we are coping here, because we are a big family. We are a family of 4 kids. So my husband is working from home, so we're very lucky in that. He's able to work from home. I obviously work from home, and our kids, I'm homeschooling our kids for the first time, and that's quite a thing. So also, being quite an introvert, it's not changing my routine very much. I mean, apart from the fact that I have the kids every day. My my husband is in the room upstairs working all day. The kids are with me, and I mean, we're very lucky in that we have a small house, but a small garden too, so we can, just go outside whenever we want to. The kids can go outside, they can play outside. So in that, I mean, we're fortunate, and so homeschooling is, I think, going great. The thing is, I'm not putting too much pressure, neither on us, nor not on me, not on the kids, and on any. I'm not putting any pressure, actually. I'm trying to have them work at least 2 to 3 hours in a very efficient and focused way, 4 days a week, and keep some, more entertaining activities for the rest of the day, like watching some videos if the weather is not fine. But most of the time they work in the mornings, and in the afternoon they go in the garden. So my kids are, the eldest is 12, and my youngest is soon 2. Obviously, the little one is not homeschooled, and she went to kindergarten before, but everything is going smoothly. The teachers are really engaged and present, and active, and sending emails and sending homework. So they really need to be, just, I think what they need is have a structure in place to see that from 10 to 12, or from 9:30 to 12:30, the time is dedicating to work. And after that, you are more or less free of your time. One thing, though, that we implemented is really no screen time during the day. We are letting steam off from 6 p.m. in the evening. Then they can do screen time, they can watch TV, they can play with their video games. But before that, we really try to have them do something else, because, yeah, I mean, there's no big harm being in front of the TV all day, but it's not really healthy either. So I'm really trying to cut down on TV time. And, well, for the past week it's worked okay. And with a few, I mean, we're not just putting pressure on everyone to respect a fixed timetable. I mean, it's enough. We have enough pressure and enough anxiety right now, so I try to go with them. I try to accompany them, and do our best. So that's how we dealt with everything. I was not able, I thought in the beginning that I could do some work in the afternoon, some dyeing, but no, it's not possible. Even if the kids are playing outside, even if the eldest is taking care of the little one, I mean, it's not possible. So what we've done is that from Monday to Friday, I will be looking after the kids and do some work that's, you know, compatible with taking care of the kids. And on the weekends, I'm free. My husband is taking care of the kids, and then I can talk to you, and then I can dye, and then I can do something that are that need all my attention. So I mean, it's a cut down on my work time, obviously, but it's better than nothing. And well, for the past week, it's worked great. I've made big progress on some design work that needed to be done, and that's cool. So that's what I've been doing. So that's 6 minutes in. So we're going to move on. But I hope you're doing well on your side. I think a lot of people. I think a lot about people who live the lockdown, being alone, for example. I mean, if that had happened to me while I was still single and without kids, it would have been really much more difficult for me because I do not fare well all by my side, all by myself. So yeah, I think a lot about all those people being alone, all those with bad company, if you're locked up with someone violent, for example. So I really truly hope that everyone is finding a balance and doing the best one could to go through these trying times. Okay, so the program for today. I have a lot of things behind me. It's going to be a little, yeah, that's the structure of the podcast you're seeing behind me. That's what I'm going to talk to you. That's what I'm going, yeah, to talk to you about today. So I wanted to talk about knitting first. Usually, you know, I'm still in my, I mean, lockdown aside, in my day-to-day routine, I'm still trying to find myself. I have not found the best work planning yet. I'm, you know, constantly running behind deadlines, and I always feel a sense of emergency and like I'm not doing what I should be doing at this very moment. So in that, maybe the lockdown is going to be a good thing because I'm going to be able to, you know, meet deadlines without pressure, and because some things need to stop. So that's organic. There's no way going around that. So yeah, maybe I will find a better balance after that. So what I told you was that I was able to do more design work the past week, and I'm very happy because I have a big collaboration coming on, and I needed to finalize my design proposal. So I cannot tell you more right now, but as soon as I can, I will share. But I'm very happy because I knitted a sample, I finalized my sketch, and I'm ready to send everything today. So hopefully the recipient will be happy with it. So that's one thing done. I think it will be a project that will be published in the second semester. So I will most probably be knitting on it like in June or something like that, May or June. So that's one thing done. One thing to be checked off my to-do list. The next thing I've been working on with great pleasure is that thing here. So I have a HEFO, a finished object. I've not weaved in my ends yet, but that's the one, oh, like this. So it's a very, very simple and straightforward brioche caul, and I have not decided the name yet. I have lots of ideas, but for the time being, not one that is striking me as the name for this design. If you have suggestions, do not hesitate to share. So that's a very simple brioche design. It's a caul, you know. I like it very much. I will talk about that later a bit. But I like it very much because it's really the perfect size. Yeah, you see how yeah, it's really awesome. I like it so much. And what's great about that, there are two things that are great about this design. The first one is that it is really, I thought about it like going from brioche potato to brioche queen. Well, brioche princess maybe, because will not be queen. You will be missing some techniques, but yeah, from brioche potato to brioche queen with that design. Okay, you start with garter stitch, so easy. And then you start the brioche in the round, which is really much simpler than brioche in back and forth rows. And it's, you know, your basic brioche stitch here. And then you start with brioche increase and right slanted and left slanted brioche decreases. So that's the basics of, you know, shaping things with brioche. And then you just have those three techniques just to be able to learn them. And then you're back to your regular brioche and garter stitch. So the beginning of the caul is worked with slightly bigger needles and here smaller needles, so that it falls very, you know, well on the shoulder and is a little tiny bit smaller. The circumference is just a tiny bit smaller around your face, so that it doesn't, you know, like a souffle that goes down completely. No, it stays a bit up, and that's what I like about it, you know, like this. So that was the first thing about this one, from brioche potato to brioche queen. I like that. I like that very much. The second thing that is pretty cool about this design is that it uses mohair. It uses you know, this very fun base, the slub yarn. So it uses slub yarn, and it yields a very squishy, a very soft and really squishy texture. You want to hold and pet all day long. So for brioche, you need two strands. So I used for the first strand the lighter color, the one with which you will see the design, really the shapes on the brioche side, on the lighter side. I used a single yarn, and for the second darker color, which is not really darker here, just more variegated, I used slub yarn held together with a strand of mohair and silk. And yeah, I don't know if you can see the hollow on this. Maybe if I, okay. It really is like this. I mean, and you can see it's really soft, and it's lovely to work with, and the color possibilities are endless, and it's a very quick project. And I mean, what's not to like about this? I've not found it yet. Maybe that mohair gives you some hair in your mouth and on your nose, but it's only when you talk while putting it on. If you keep quiet, it's going to be okay. So yeah, that one. I'm not the kind of knitter that loves to knit several times the same item, but for this one, yes, I am. Completely. As soon as I was finished with that one, I had not... Oh yes, and one thing, it's not blocked. You don't have to block it. It stands like this. I mean, when you're finished, you just have to wave your hands in, okay? And then you're done. It doesn't need blocking. I mean, it's gorgeous like this, and I'm not going to block it. And that's cool. So, as soon as I was finished with that one, I had some slub in my stash, so I immediately cast on another one using completely different colors. Well, still in the pink, pinkish range of colors, but I've used here, it's not a single, it's a 4-ply yarn, sock yarn. Okay, and the slub is like this. I love it. So I'm going to, I've not shown you the colors for each one, but that's my extra thin fingering base in the Framboise sous acide colorway. And I'm using this mohair paired with that slab. So the slab is corrupted pink and the mohair is until down. And that's, and my bag just fell. So that's the colors. And you know, for the slab, I'm really trying to dye yarn with as much fun as there is in the base itself. So I'm looking for speckles, I'm looking for the odd color that you would not expect in that kind of color spectrum. So that when you knit that yarn, you have a lot of cool surprises. I took a lot of pictures actually of that very working project, because although the colorway seems quite you know, straightforward, like purples and pinks, when you knit it you see there are lots of little pops of colors, and I love that. So for example, in that colorway you will have some fluorescent lemon yellow. No, it doesn't want to. No, can you see it? Maybe I will put some pictures because it doesn't want to do the me. No. Well, take my word for it. There are some tiny speckles of fluorescent colors, of orange. I don't remember what I put in there, but I put a lot of things, and it's really fun to knit with. And so that's the second one. What's cool about that design too is that the yarn comes in that's typically the kit to knit that. But so that is the colors I used for that one. So that's the same. You have same, or well, you don't have to, but for that one I choose to have the same color in the mohair and in the single, and that was unapologetic. And I used a pretty crazy variegated colorway called Halloween Dream for the slub. And what's very cool is that with that amount of yarn, you have enough to knit at least 2, maybe 3, but I think 2 for sure. So what I'm going to do is, when I will prepare some kits for this design when it's published, and I will split every yarn quantity in 2. Then it will be for half the price as a start for starters, and you won't have so many leftovers. You will have enough to make it bigger if you wish, but if you want to knit it just like it is, you will have what's enough, and not 70% left of leftovers on each skein. So the kits will be in yarn ball forms, not skeins. Yeah. So here you have 2 kits already. And I just cannot stop myself and think about other color possibilities. For example, I started that design. I had the idea of this design while knitting some swatches for the slub yarn, and I knitted a lot of swatches. Here they are. I knitted all the swatches. I tried to knit it together with a strand of sock yarn alone on 3.5 millimeter, 3.5 millimeters needle, alone on 2.5 millimeters needle, together with mohair, and at that point I was already hooked. And then I thought, yeah, brioche, okay, brioche. And that association of colors, yeah, I'm completely smitten. I'm going to knit a third call using that association. That's my dirty rainbow colorway, but that one is not quite dirty because it was very light on the black speckles, but my other skins in the same colorways are more heavily speckled with black. Together with, I can show you because I have it here. Yeah, that's that one. You see, there is much more black, but I can take custom orders with no black if you wish. I had one customer request this exactly the same colorway without the black speckles. It's possible. So this is that slab with that mohair and sock. This is sock yarn, so it gives you that. And I want to dye yarn and to knit a fourth in more neutral colors, like my nude colorway, which is, it's really a good thing to be in the studio because I can just grab anything and show you. So that's my nude colorway on single, and I want to knit a fourth call using that kind of color. So I need to think about how I'm going to dye some slub in that colorway. I'm not exactly the same, but you know, in the same neutral, gorgeous neutral shades. So that's up on my next dyeing session. Okay, so that was for that call. One thing I wanted to tell you is that I will be looking for testers of the English version, at least 2 testers. And if you're interested, it's even better if you're a brioche beginner, so that you can really tell me if you think it's okay for a beginner. I'm going to shoot some videos, some tutorial to I was even thinking about doing a completely well, to have the regular pattern, written pattern, but also to do something in video from A to Z, to accompany very beginner knitters in brioche. So I don't know what you think. Would that be a good idea? Let me know. Next on the whips, I wanted to show you something. It's a design idea that's been brooding in my head for quite a long time. So I'm very happy to see it take shape now. It's a Brioche Design again, my second one, because I think when you start brioching you cannot stop. And I just want to test all the color possibilities. So I'm starting that. Well, you will see it doesn't look like a shawl yet, but it will be a shawl soon. And I'm really fond of the modular knitting technique. Knit as you go, and you do not have a lot. It's the mohair. I mean, it's really difficult not to touch your face when you've had mohair all over it. My hands are clean. So that's the beginning of the design, and I like it very much to have that straight brioche going just all over. And yes, it's a really enjoyable knit, and I love it so much, and I'm really happy to be working on that, and I can't wait to go in the next step. So modular knitting technique, that's you're knitting you are knitting bit by bit, and so some other parts are going to be attached to this one to make a big project. So I really love it because it's like you're knitting faster when you do that this way. And about the color palette, so you have those two, okay. It's not a neutral color palette, huh? So that's unapologetic again. Always the same. Actually, that's my leftovers from the coal. So you see, there's a lot of that's nebuleuse. It's all in single base. That's Aperol Spritz, which is one of my favorite apéro. Okay, I'm trying not to. Okay, like this. There's 5. That's Pacific. Okay, and the last one to brighten it up. That one is Éclat de Soleil. Okay, so that's the color palette. Here you go. So it's going to be very cheerful, very punchy, like a punch of colors in your face, like pooh. And I started that design while being at the hairdresser, and I posted a picture on Instagram, and some friends of mine told me, yeah, you should do, are you doing something to your hair in that very color? Are you asking the hairdresser to dye your hair in those colors? I was like, nope, not really, but I thought it would be a cool idea just to, not to dye my hair in those crazy colors, but to maybe have just highlights, things you can remove in the shower. So I bought some highlights, removable highlights, and I think I will give it a try soon. So when this big baby will be published, I think I will have colors, assorted colors, highlights in my hair. We'll see. Okay, so that's for the work in progress and /FO, finished objects. Not much, because actually since I'm doing, I'm running a knitting business and a knitting related business as my full-time job, I've never knitted less. It has cut down on my knitting time tremendously. That's the irony of the thing, friends. So I'm putting Jimmy back because I wanted to talk to you about Jimmy. Jimmy, if you're a newsletter subscriber, is the pattern you get as a gift to welcome you to the Tricot et Stitch family, the Tricot et Stitch community. So I was thinking over the past week, being in lockdown, I thought a lot about what we could do together as a community that would not involve, relying on post men to bring you some things, or relying on things that are out of our reach right now. So what could we do with what we have? And actually, we already all, if you subscribe, and if you have not, if you do now, you will get it. We all have this pattern, the Jimmy shawl pattern. So, and I think most of us have stash, okay, yarn stash. So it's a pattern that I particularly love because I'm a huge fan of triangle shawls. And this one is pretty traditional in its construction, with just the tiniest bit of fun. So you start at the top, and then you knit with some stripes. You have a fun little thing happening here, because as for brioche, you are going to knit your stripes using the swinging knitting technique. Well, it's like brioche. You knit the same row. You knit twice on the right side and twice on the wrong side, changing colors to have just a stripe that's one row in width. And then you have this bold, lacy border. You won't get bored with that border, I can tell you, because there is no rest row. So the pattern in itself, like the lace pattern, is not difficult. It's a short pattern in terms of number of stitches and in terms of rows, but you have to work it on every row. And you end with an attached edging knitted sideways. So it's a very feminine and elegant design, and I love it very much. I've named it Jimmy because at the time when I knitted it, I was listening to Jimmy Somerville a lot, and that's why I love Jimmy Somerville and the Communers. So I wanted to, for those of you wishing to join in virtual events, knitting events, because a lot of festivals all around the world have been cancelled or reported. I had to cancel I've not cancelled anything yet, but I had to report my participation in several yarn festivals. The good thing is that nothing is cancelled, it's just to be held at a later date. But I thought maybe it would be fun if you wanted to join me. I want to knit another one with my yarns, to have a sample knit in my yarns, because those are commercial yarns I bought several years ago, and I wanted to have a Jimmy knitted with my own colors. So if you want to join me and knit one with me, you already have the pattern or are about to have it. The link to subscribe to the newsletter is in the notes. And you just have to grab 2 skeins of yarn from your stash, 2 skeins of fingering yarn, and you can get started. So what I wanted to share with you is some ideas of color combination I came up with for my Jimmy. If all those are in the shop, so if you're interested in one of those combination, I can you can shop it, but it won't be sent right away, because the postal services in France have officially asked us not to send anything that's not really important. Anything that can be delayed, that is not vital or linked to primary needs to be delayed. So that includes yarn. And I won't be Hello. I won't be sending any orders in the coming days or weeks, as long as the lockdown is happening. But you can order, and I will keep it safe for you, and it will ship as soon as it's possible to ship. So I wanted to, you know, a bit of yarn porn is always good to see. So that combo is, I think, working great together. A friend of mine, Laetitia, has knit a Starflake from Stephen West in those colors, and they work beautifully together. So I was considering that one. So that's Minerai et Framboise sous acide, which is definitely a big favorite of mine. I like that color very much. So that's the first combo, but that's not my favorite one. Second combination is that one, and I like that one. I'm, you know, mixing bases. I do not have any problem mixing bases, even knitting single with fingering weight yarn. I don't care, as soon as it's the same, approximately the same yarn weight and same yardage or metrage by weight. It's okay for me to mix. So that one is Tainted Love 2.0 together with, so it's sock yarn, extra thin fingering, and that's also stock yarn, same yardage, but it's on the Stellina base, and it's called Darling Nikki, like Prince song. So that one is a good candidate. I love that one. Next, and I think my favorite, that is a new colorway. It actually, no, it's not the same. It's close, but not the same. That one is a bit more cheerful. It doesn't have any black, no, no black on this one. So that's a new colorway. It doesn't have any name yet. And I like it very much. And that's Framboise sous acide. And I like that one very much. You see that for the border and that for the shawl body. The shawl body can be variegated or heavily speckled. You just have to stick with something more solid or semi-solid for the contrasted color, so that you don't, you can still read the lace pattern. But that's not mandatory. You can do whatever you want. So that one, yeah. That one too, I like it. That's Fabled. And Voie Lactée, which is Milky Way in French. Voie Lactée. I like that one too. That's Stellina and sock again. I thought that would be pretty dramatic here. You know, that and that. Another one. It's Fabled, but on single. So you see how it takes the color differently? It's the same colorway, dyed in the same way, but colors tend to be more intense on single base. And that's Sassy Swamp. And I think they look great together. And for a more like light and spring feeling, like this. And the last one is Nude with Tomette. And that's more autumn colors, and I'm not much into autumn colors, so I like that one very much. But maybe if I was knitting my Jimmy like in September or October, but right now I'm more into that kind of color. If I could put it everywhere, that one. Okay, so that's the color combo I'm considering for my Jimmy. Tell me which one you prefer. It would be interesting to know. I think I will go with that one or that one. And looking them side to side, I think I'll go with that one because it's more in the mood of the summer days to come. And I'm very pink those days. Yeah, see, same. So I think it's going to be that. And so to join, obviously we could do it on Ravelry, but I know there are a lot of other options. And I was thinking if you had any suggestion, like I've not used myself anything else than Ravelry to host a cal, but we could, I don't know, I've heard about Discord, I've heard about Zoom, I've heard about, well, other platforms. Why I'm asking you that now is because now is a good time to do something more interactive and to maybe have live sessions to discuss color combination and things like that, just to get in touch in a more lively manner. So what do you think? It could happen on both, on Ravelry and on another place. I mean, it's possible too. But I really would like to pick your brains about that, and let me know what you think. Do you know of another platform that would be doing the job for that? One that's easy to use across different countries, and one that's, not too complicated. um, I'm open to suggestions. I'm soliciting you a lot, but I really would love to have what your opinion and to know what you suggest to host this card. So again, it would be knitting together this pattern that we all have in our library, and choose 2 skeins of yarn and have fun, and very simple, very, and just, get in touch and discuss and about things we love, like yarn and colors, and knitting techniques. And also there are a lot of tutorials for this one. All are in French and all have been filmed a while ago now, but I think that even if you don't speak French, you can mute and see how it's done if you have a doubt on the techniques I'm using here. Okay, next. So I wanted to have a very small moment to show you the colorway I dyed for Operation Social Justice. It's an initiative led by Gamer Crafting on Instagram. You can find her as well on the internet under that name, Gamer Crafting. And it's just to give love a platform, and to promote social equality of rights for everyone and social equity. And I wanted to participate because that's a theme that's close to my heart. And so I did that colorway. It's called The Answer is Love. And I actually created it for that operation, for Operation Social Justice. So here you see it on decay because all the other bases have been raided. I don't have that colorway on any other bases left. So that's very cool. I'm taking pre-orders for that one, so it's available across all bases because I've had a restock just before the lockdown started, so that I'm stock on every base I offer in my shop, and that's the colorway on decay. So the inspiration is really fun. I have a big Star Wars poster in my office upstairs, and I love the colors on that poster, and it was completely, whoops, sorry, it was completely inspired by that poster. So initially I wanted to call that colorway Speckle Wars, but I thought that The Answer is Love was more appropriate to the Operation Social Justice. So it's The Answer is Love. in brackets, speckle walls. So decay doesn't take speckles as sharply as other bases like sock base, but you can still see the colors. So it's all about neon. You have some yellow, pink, purples, and it goes then into dark blues and black. And if you want to have a peek at how it knits up, a friend of mine, Celine, knitted some socks out of the same colorway, dyed on my extra fin fingering sock base, and it's really fun. So it's on my Instagram if you want to check it out. It's in the yarn section. 20% of the sales of that colorway will be donated to the CAMA, le CAMA. It's the Collectif d'aide aux migrants d'Acher. So it's a collective of people helping migrants in my hometown. And they help them with, primary needs. They help them buying food. They help them with doing some administrative papers, buying bicycles for being able to, to move, repairing bicycles. Well, that kind of basic stuff. And they do a lot of work, and I wanted to help them because we have quite a lot of migrants in Acher, and some had really dire life conditions not so long ago. And I think I really wanted to do something, and I had there the opportunity to do something, so I jumped in. So the Operation Social Justice runs until March the 31st. So any yarn you will buy between now and March the 31st will qualify for the 20% donation to CAMA. Thank you very much for them. Okay, and so now I wanted to talk to you a bit about spinning, because yesterday I took some time to put some I think I'm going to cire, you know, the thing bees do. Polish, okay, maybe polish. I will maybe be correct in the subtitles if it's wrong, sorry about that. So I took time to polish all my spinning accessories and spinning wheel, and it's day and night, guys. I mean, the spinning wheel is gorgeous now. I'm going to encross the picture of you so that you can see. And I finished spinning a bat I bought at Spin City UK a while back, 2 years ago I think. So I spun it quite, it's the single, so it's, I mean, it's not very thin. I'm going to ply it Navarro style, so I won't have much. I think it's going to be like a worsted weight and 100 grams of a worsted weight, but I love those colors. It goes from the orange to pink again, and it has lots of fire star, golden and silver fire star, and it's really gorgeous. So watch out for the finished yarn with that. And also about spinning, I've continued on a project I've started a while ago. So it's upstairs, and I didn't want to bring my wheel downstairs, but again, I will put some pictures for you. And also what I wanted to do, I've had in my stash for like a million years, that braid. It's merino. I bought it on a yarn fair, I think 3 years ago, and I've never spun it, never dyed it. So I think now is the time to go with you know, experiments, and so I'm going to dye this weekend. So I think there are 200 grams here, so I'm going to split it in two, and I'm going to do two colors. I have not decided yet. Maybe one will involve pink. I don't know. I would say there is a lot of chance. Also, I've received a lot of you know, samples, and I want to play with samples during this dyeing session, because there is no urgency to stock just the shop or to dye for festivals. So I'm just going to dye for fun and try new things. So there are a lot of new bases here that I've not tried yet. For example, this is my regular fingering sock base in mini and full skin, and I've bought some samples at my yarn supplier, so I'm going to be giving those a try. Those are really, really cool. I mean, I'm completely new to Suri. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I see the difference. You don't get any hair on your face with Suri. That's the thing about Suri, no? Because I've never knitted it and never seen it in person. I've just received that just before the lockdown. So I get it now. You don't get it on your face. Yes. Okay, sorry. It's the epiphany moment in direct. Wow. And that silk kit fluff. So, I mean, that is pretty awesome. I've seen that years ago dyed, and it's beautiful. And I wanted to try and dye some on my own, but both are not super washed, so I'm a bit worried. I hope I won't be doing any harm to them. So that's on the menu together with that one. I want to try to dye that chunky, beautiful, gorgeous skein. It's so soft, so soft. It's the same merino base as my sock yarn, so 80. It's extra fine merinos, but it's 100% extra fine merinos, and it's really soft and springy, and I can't wait to dye something with that. So I want to test that. And then I have extra fine merino high twist, not 4-ply, 2-ply high twist. I need to try that. I've not carried that yet. I do not carry that in the shop yet, but I want to try. That is blue-faced Leicester sock weight, so I will try that as well. I love to spin blue-faced Leicester. Very long step length. It's great to spin. Yes, for beginners it's great. That is a cashmere blend, like your regular MCN base. So I will try and see what happens. And that is okay, that is the very basic sock yarn my supplier carries. I do not carry that base. It's 75 superwash merino, not extra fine, regular merino, and 25% nylon. It's not as soft as my extra thin fingering base. Maybe it's a bit more sturdy because it has more nylon, but I think that for shawls, for example, it's really not soft. I mean, for socks only. And that's why I do not carry it, because I like to have my, you know, a versatile base that you can use for socks and shawls indifferently. And the last one I'm going to try is Polwarth. I've never tried, so I'm very curious about this as well. The question is, which color? No, not everything in pink, Christelle. You have to do something else, okay? But yeah, that's on the menu, so bear with me. What I would love to do is to give you an update on that very soon, to share with you the results. So that's the plan. That's the plan, to share with you the color experiments on those babies. and that baby as well. And yeah, you know, have a bit of fun. I mean, we all have to do the best with what we have, and I had that, and I have that I want to share with you. And let's have a bit of fun, and I will share with you the results of my experiment and tell you. I mean, I'm very curious about how it's going to take the dye. So logic would have me dye everyone in the same color to see the difference. If I was really rigorous, but I don't feel like doing that at all. Really, I don't. I want to dye each and every one in different color. So I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be a big surprise. So I hope you're excited about this and you will join me for the next episode. Have I talked about everything? I don't think so. No, I wanted to show you something else. I wanted to talk a bit about books because I'm a huge book nerd, and I wanted to show you a new to me book that I didn't know about. And when I discovered about that, I immediately bought it. Just bear with me. Did you know that? I just told you earlier in this episode that I was crazy about triangle shawls. I mean, it's my favorite. It's my go-to shape. It's my favorite shape to knit, to design, to everything. And Leila Rab, well, she's known as Leila Rab, but it's Leila Raven. She wrote that book to the point, the knitted triangle. I was like, I need it in my life, like immediately. So I ordered it online, and it's gorgeous. And you know what? I didn't know there was so many ways to knit triangle shawls. Wow! I've learned new things, and I've got ideas full. I have a head chock full of ideas I want to try. So that book is awesome, and it's really beautiful. Look at that. See, the photos I've got are gorgeous. You have bottom up, top down, like for socks, sideways. The first triangular shawl I knitted was bottom up. Look at that. It's gorgeous. And I mean, the pictures are really beautiful. So I just want to knit everything in that book. I will never have the time, but it's such a good inspiration. I mean, it's gorgeous. I love it. It's my table book. So I really want to knit at least one thing in that book. I don't know which one, because every one is, yes, I know which one I want to try. It's the one with the most new to me construction. I'm going to show it to you. I think it's that one. Just bear with me. It's not sideways. Okay, sorry about that. Do you want to check with me? It's not that one. No, it's, I think, chapter 3. I think it's that one. Yes. Okay, let me just find the name. It's that one I want to be knitting. It's the construction, Moonflower, and the name is beautiful. Moonflower it is. And the construction is really interesting because you knit the border first. You knit that border first, bit by bit with short rows, and then you knit the shawl body in garter stitch. And you see, it's knitted like this, and you can, I think you can see from the next photo here that you have the short rows are happening here to create the angle, and you attach both halves here, and then you pick up stitches and you knit the body. I mean, it's great. I love that idea. So I just want to be, experiencing new things, and I think that is going to be the next one. My for fun knitting, not for work knitting. Okay, so that book is awesome. And also I wanted to just, if you need some suggestions of things to read, I'm really like smitten with a new to me author, but I don't think he's been writing very long. I think he lives in Manchester. He is of Mexican origin, lives in Manchester, and writes about some mysteries, murder mysteries in Victorian England. Victorian Scotland. And it's great. His name is Oscar de Muriel, and his first book is Strings of Murder, and I cannot recommend it enough. I mean, it's fun, it's a bit ghoulish, it's contemporary with Jack the Ripper. It starts on the first book, and the point of the story starts at the date of the last murder of Jack the Ripper, and it goes from there. And I love the characters, I love the plots, I love everything. It's very fun, it's very well written, it's very well documented. I discovered a lot of things. For example, I didn't know there was a completely underground city and Edinburgh Edinburgh en français, Edinburgh in English. So I didn't know about that. I mean, why would I know? But I mean, it's really, really interesting and well written, and the guy Oscar de Muriel is so cute and nice, and I mean, he's so sweet. I've been commenting his Instagram, and we've been in touch, and he's publishing a bit of bonuses as well, like he's written a very short story, a poem in rhymes, just to make his fans, to give his fans some passions to wait for the sixth installment of the series. So there are 5th in the series, and the 6th is due, I think, in August. So I can't wait, because I've just finished the 5th one, which is the darker arts, and it's great. And I've listened to it on audiobooks, and the narrator is Andy Secombe, and he does the accent in the most perfect way to me, which I'm French, so I'm really not a reference, but to me, French girl, it's great. I love it. So Oscar de Muriel, that's my book recommendation, okay? And I've just started another series. I'm just re-listening to The Strings of Murder, that's the first book of Oscar de Muriel, because, I love it. And also I've started a new to me series, The Dresden Spies, on audiobook as well. It's Jim Borden, the author. There is a lot of books in the series, I think 22 or 21, something like that. So I'm on the first. The stories of a sorcerer who is working like a private detective. He is for hire to help you find things you've lost, or understand how people die in very special way. He helps the police or things like that. So, well, I'm at the very beginning, so more on that later. But Oscar de Muriel, like this. Yeah, really, I love that guy. Okay, and as for, Netflix and chill and things like that, I'm a lot in cozy mysteries lately, and Amazon Prime is carrying the Aurora Teagarden series, which is cute. They are cute. I'm watching them with my daughter, my eldest. She loves Aurora Teagarden. I've tried to. I've bought the first book as well in the series, so I didn't know, but it's written by Charlaine, who wrote the vampire stories with Suki and things that I don't remember the name, but you see. I mean, it's very known. Charlaine. So it's another franchise from Charlaine, Aurora Teagarden, and she's a librarian in a small town in the USA, and she has a thing for in murder, and she's been involved in like an abnormally amount of murders for a town so little. But I mean, otherwise there wouldn't be any story. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. I'm looking at it with my daughter, and we like it very much. It's cozy mystery at its best, and it's cool, and not too ghoulish, not too extreme. It's a nice watch. And also I've started Murder She Wrote, like the thing that is ancient. But I love Angela Lansbury, and I find I didn't. I mean, I've always catched. I always caught one episode like this on the TV. Watched it with my father. He loves that series, Murder She Wrote. He's a big Angela Lansbury fan, and but I never got into it. And then it's available then on Amazon Prime again. And I've started from the start, from the very episode 1, season 1, and my gosh, I love her as well. I mean, she's an aspiring figure. The woman is like in the series, she's in the 60s. She's a widow. She becomes a very famous writer, and I love her energy. I love that she is so good to people, so trusting, so intelligent, and you do not fool her. And she runs every morning, and she's okay by herself, and she doesn't need anyone to, but she's friendly to anyone, and she never forgets a first name. And I'm very, very admirative of that, because I, for the life of me, cannot remember the first names of people. That's a very big problem. So yeah, aspiring figure, Angela Lansbury. JB something, don't remember the name of the character in the series, but I love her. So yeah, to spend time knitting, and it's cozy, it's not too overwhelming emotionally, because I'm a big horror fan, horror movie fan, and I do not feel like watching that right now, except for I've watched one very cool with Chris Hemsworth lately. It's very funny. It's called The Cabin in the Wood, I think. I don't know if it's the name in English, but in French it's La Cabane dans les Bois. And check him out in his filmography, you will find it. It's just it's not what you would expect for such a name, La Cabane dans les Bois, The Cabin in the Wood. It's really fun. If you're into horror movies and you have not seen that, go for it. It's cool. So, okay, that concludes it for the day. I hope you will have enjoyed that episode as well, as much as I did. I hope my English is not too approximative and that you can understand me clearly. I'm sorry I stammer a lot, but I mean, it's quite a new exercise for me as well, but I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you are too. And so I give you rendezvous for the next one, and for what will happen to these babies. Okay? So see you soon. Stay safe, wash your hands, stay home, and take care of yourself and your close relative, and wish you the best. See you. Bye bye.